Happiness comes from, for the most part, internal rather than external sources. Whatever the external situation, while some are a lot better and easier than others, appreciating and enjoying the things you have right now is where happiness comes from. When you're focused on what you don't have yet, what you can't have, or what you've lost, well, that's what causes unhappiness. So you might think that it would be best to focus on enjoying the moment and appreciating what you have all the time. And sure, that would probably make you happier, in some sense. This sort of extreme moment-to-moment joy is basically how dogs keep their morale up, and it seems to work for them most of the time. But is this really the best way to live life? Not exactly. It's easy for things to go too far. So let's take a look at the problems with hyperpositivity and explore some of the better alternatives. Hyper or toxic positivity is characterized not by genuine joy, but by a fear of failure. It's the philosophy of people who say, "Just be happy. Why are you so sad? There's no need to be depressed. Other people have it worse," and other similar shaming statements. If you notice, the focus isn't really on being happy. The focus in comments like these is primarily on not being sad, on not showing grief. In other words, not revealing the fragility and the weakness of the advice giver's own mask of happiness. The people who emphasize a positive attitude and preach this sort of toxic positivity are generally very uncomfortable with their own negative feelings, as well as seeing the negative feelings of others. They may even be personally ashamed of them, suppress them, or fear them. When someone in your life is sad, upset, or struggling, it may be a natural reaction to suggest that they simply appreciate what they have, look on the bright side, or stay strong and push past it. But unfortunately, that's just not how emotional management works. Those sort of techniques can only be maintained through willpower, denial, and social pressure, inevitably resulting in an unhealthy relationship with your own emotional world. So how did this come to be the norm for most cultures? Well, you can imagine how it may have been beneficial for societies in the past. When every day is a struggle to survive in a land abounding with dangers, dwelling on negative emotion for even small amounts of time can significantly hurt your group's chances of success. Humans have an incredible cognitive capacity for deep intellectual emotions in response to things like social pressure, anxiety for the future, and worries about the state of the world. But we've also developed the capacity to compartmentalize, to shut down, to numb ourselves to our own feelings, like a mental on-off switch to protect us from being overwhelmed by the incomprehensible stress of the world around us. When you need to hunt every day for food, burying your worries and looking on the bright side can motivate you to get through tough times and focus on improvement for your group. But that philosophy is no longer useful in modern societies. Existentialism, depression, nihilism, and other anxiety-inducing thought patterns are ironically the side effects of a privileged life. Studies show that people living in more rural, underdeveloped, or traditional parts of the world actually have lower rates of depression. When your local tribe is your whole world and every day comes with the clearly defined goal of basic survival, there's no time for wallowing in anxiety. Conversely, in more technologically advanced societies today, we see rates of depression and other psychological issues increasing at a disturbing pace. So, how do we handle it? Well, it's clear that the old method of be grateful for what you have, bury your negative feelings, remember other people somewhere have it worse than you, and try to look on the bright side isn't going to be enough anymore. Actively choosing to be grateful for what you have can be fantastic for mental health, but suppressing your negative feelings or being ashamed of them is not sustainable, especially in this age of the interconnected world, social media, and extreme isolation. What psychologists find to be the better method can be described as riding the wave, or riding the roller coaster. The key being to feel your emotions, acknowledge them, process them, and then let them go. If you're ever struggling with negative emotion yourself for any reason, this is the method to try. But toxic positivity is the equivalent of hitting the emergency stop button on that roller coaster because you're worried to see your friend going down the drop. Sure, it might pause their pain temporarily, but it also prevents them from ever being able to exit the ride. Toxic positivity is trapping your friend at the top of the climb indefinitely. Maybe they won't fear the drop for a few more moments, but sometime it will have to come. And now it will be a surprise after they've built up all this anxiety, numbing themselves to fear at the top for hours, days, months, or even years. And when that drop finally does come, it will come hard, it will come fast, and it won't be controlled. The better method for supporting others through tough times is to help them along their roller coaster journey. Letting your friend open up to you on their own terms, then listening to their feelings in an affirming and non-judgmental way as they piece things together and process everything for themselves, at least as best as you can, is akin to pulling a lever that slows the roller coaster down until it reaches a safe and complete stop at the finish. Your friend will be scared as they go down the drop, and you may feel uncomfortable watching it happen, but remember that it's a natural part of emotional processing, and the best thing you can do is to help them get through as smoothly as possible to reach true happiness again on the other side. There's no need for toxic positivity or forced positive comments. Better to just process things and let them happen. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and find some ways to use this in your own daily life. As always, leave a comment with your own thoughts and stories, click the like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time to learn something new.